Hello and welcome to our lesson on item management, where we will be discussing item creation. Today's topics will include the items list, item types, GL account mapping, item images, and importing items. So with that, let's get started. Before we get too involved in creating items and exploring item types, let's go to the items list and see what we can accomplish there. To get to the items list, click the Accounting tab and choose Items underneath the Inventory section. The items list will display all the items that you have in your Striven system. There are also many search fields at the top of the list to help you find specific items that you're looking for. If you click the blue down arrow to the left of the magnifying glass, you can expand to see more available search fields. Search fields here will allow users to search for the item name, filter to look for specific item types, which we'll discuss in further detail in just a little bit, item status, whether it's active or inactive, categories, the manufacturer, division, manufacturer part number, and the batch ID. To begin adding a new item, simply click the Add button at the top left of the items list. This will bring you to the Add Item page, and here we'll explore all the options that you have available to create an item. But first, let's go over the item types and how each one is different from the other. We'll talk about each item type in detail except for inventory and manufactured items, since those will be talked about in their own distinct videos, which are inventory management and manufactured item management. To view all item types available, click the Choose field. Here you'll see a list of drop-downs, which include all 7 item types available in your Striven system. Once again, skipping inventory, you have non-inventory items. And non-inventory items are products that you order from your vendors, but you don't actively keep track of the quantity on hand that you have at a specific location. Choosing a non-inventory item will allow you to track your preferred vendors, the manufacturer of the item, reference a manufactured part number, choose a unit of measure, as well as keep track of cost, price, and shipping information. The accounting information displayed here will allow you to choose how the item posts when you buy or sell the item. Here you can designate an income account and an expense account from your chart of accounts. You can also set a default class if you would like as well. The next item type we have available are service items. Service items are services that you provide for your customers. And since service items are usually not tangible goods, the preferred vendor and manufacturer part number are hidden from the user's view. But you can still track your units of measure if you'd like. The price and cost options as well as the shipping are also available for service items. And the accounting options are the same as non-inventory items. You have your income and expense accounts which you can choose, as well as your default classes. Apart from service items, you have item groups. Item groups are a group of items that are collapsed underneath one line item name. Think of item groups as a bundle. It's a group of individual items that are sold as one item, even though you get separated items when you purchase it. Here, you don't have accounting, costing, or pricing information, but you do have what items and how much quantity you want to put inside the group. In item groups, you can add any item type you would want, including inventory items, non-inventory items, service items, manufactured items, discount, and fixed asset items. Once you add the items to your group, you can then change the quantities as you need that appear in the group. A little later on, we'll explore how you can add these groups to sales orders and transactions, and how to configure your pricing for the group as well. Now let's move on to discount items. Discount items can be used to reference member discounts or promotional discounts, and configuring a discount item is fairly straightforward. Here you can track an item category, you can track a division for the item, and you can set your accounting information, which means that you can set one GL account from your chart of accounts and set a default class if you'd like as well. Next, let's talk about fixed asset items. Fixed asset items are tangible items that help generate revenue for your business. And usually, these are items that will last a long period of time. For instance, if I ran a bakery and I had an industrial oven that I used to bake the cakes, cookies, and muffins that I produce, the oven would be considered a fixed asset. When you add a fixed asset item, you can relate a physical asset. You can also choose to track a category, division. You can have shipping information related to the fixed asset item, and you can also associate one GL account from your chart of accounts, and set a default class if you'd like as well. Apart from the differences between pricing, costing, shipping, and accounting, every item will have the basic information that can be configured, such as the description, which will appear whenever you add the item on a sales order, invoice, purchase order, or bill, just to name a few. You also have internal notes, which will only appear on the item page, but you can write notes that only internal users of your Striven system will be able to see. You can also toggle on an advanced editor by clicking this hyperlink. And here you can write a more formatted and detailed note about the item if you so choose. There's also HTML formatting available here as well. But if you'd like to go back to the simple editor, just click the hyperlink and you'll return to the alphanumeric field as shown. You also have any custom fields on the item level, which will appear for all items regardless of the type, which you can choose to track all the information as needed. You can also upload images for any item type, as we can see here. By clicking the cloud icon, you can include an image from your computer, and that image will be saved with the item. By hovering over the eye icon, you can see all the allowed file extensions for images, and the max file size per file is 10 megabytes. Let's add a fixed asset, and we can save the image. Once we've saved the item, we can see the image that we've attached and all the basic information that we've configured. Once the item is saved, the item type will be locked, but you can edit everything else about the item as you need to. Once the item is saved, you'll have distinct tabs at the top. And here you can add any reference materials that you've added in your settings, as we discussed in the item settings video. You can also have default tasks associated to the items. If you'd like to learn more about default tasks, we have great examples in the manufactured item management video, which you can reference there. The Actions menu will allow you to copy the item so that you can make a copy with all the information here very easily. To attach your units of measure, click the Choose field and choose the appropriate set from your units of measure set list. Once you're ready, simply choose Save and Close, and you'll be brought back to the items list where you can view the item on your items list. Another way in which you can add items into Striven is by importing them. To import items, click the Import button at the top left of the items list. This will take you to the items import page. And here you have two icons to help you import your items. One icon is the cloud icon, which by clicking it will download a sample CSV file which you can open and fill in the appropriate data to import your items. There's also the window icon, which when clicked, you'll be able to view the mapping for the sample CSV file that you download. Here will be all the column headers as we saw in the sample CSV, as well as the data type required and a description of what information goes underneath each appropriate column. Once you have your CSV file filled out, you can click Select to choose from your list of files and go through the import mapping process where you'll map the appropriate columns to what data gets imported into Striven. And that will lead you to successfully importing your items en masse into Striven. If you're using the import option to update existing data, you'll want to check the Update Matching Data on. If you're just uploading new items into your Striven system, you can uncheck the Update Matching Data checkbox. And that was a look at creating and managing items as well as importing items into your Striven system.